Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So today I have received a message from our friend from Europe asking me many questions. And in this video, I like to answer to one of the questions. And this type of questions is very good so that we can communicate and clarify things. Because the ancient Chinese culture is not that easy to understand by the Westerner or even the Chinese today's themselves. So let's start with this. Since this channel is for education and culture, this is not the channel to promote for fighting. I like to share with you this before we talk technical on martial arts. And actually, this is at the end of my book, Restricting Wing Chun. This is the teaching of my late Sifu, Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua. So here it says, as soon as you throw the first fist or kick the first foot, you are no longer my disciple on spot. You may not use those. I'll give you a secret Dharma that you can use to protect yourself. The secret Dharma is called the Four Unlimited Minds: kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. That is how a real Zen Patriarch or Bodhidharma, if it is exists today, teach. We need to know this. Wing Chun is a Buddhist art. So we need to know the real Buddhist teaching, not like a Jisim go to Red Boat and teach Mui fighting with Jisims, whatever, you know, you read all those end of Qing period fictions, where today people take this as the truth. This guy fighting that guy, that monk fighting that nun, that Taoist fighting that monk, all this nonsense. None of them who wrote those stuff know what is the teaching of the Zen Buddhist or Bodhidharma. Martial art exists within the Chinese Buddhist teaching, but it is not as what you heard today on this Jisim go to Red Boat and anti-Qing, and then you look at this, hey man, this story is created at the end of Qing dynasty, where everybody is saying, love your country, do not teach the foreigner. It is not at the time of the late Qing dynasty when the Wing Chun ancestor is anti-Qing because of the people is suffering. Do you know how bad it is at 1850 when our Wing Chun ancestor fighting the Qing guy, the Qing military? Let me tell you what happened. So at that uprising, at that battle, the Qing official ordered to beheaded whoever is anti-Qing. So at that time, there are many foreign reporters in Fatsan or in Canton area. They wrote down there, they killed so many people, the Qing killed so many people that they don't have enough bucket to put the head so that they can get reward money from the government. They turn into cutting off the ear. That's how bad it is. And you know how bad? The Qing army went out to the villager, cutting off the villagers, taking the ear just to claim for their money or rewards. You read those period of history, you know how bad is the Qing threaten the people, trading the people. And that's why people want to anti-Qing. And then they corrupted, selling opiums. People cannot live that way. That's why there's an uprising. That's why until today, you see those, if you read the history, the Hong Seng Chai Lai Fat, who is actually helping the Taiping army, Taiping Heavenly Kingdoms army. There are rules. The student, the disciple of Hong Seng Chai Lai Fat, you never touch opium. They are prohibited. Okay. So it is at that time, at that type of a society, not like today. People is doing all sort of stuff just for themselves. That's why you have the uprising. Well, they lost. Now it's 160 years later. So I tell you what it is, all this history, so that we know, we learn. If you want to be a real Wing Chuners, we follow the Buddhist teaching. Not all those nonsense Hong Kong movie, who fight who, is revenge, because they want to revenge. What? Wing Chun have this mentality of hatred. Buddhists don't teach you that. That's why I went to become the real Zen Patriarch student. This is what it teaches: kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, not hatred. Pardon, forgive. You don't use martial art to being macho. You don't even use martial art actually at that time of the 1800s and prior to that for competition, because that is no. Okay, we need to know this because we are human. With today's world, like in the COVID, people get agitative and get violence. We need to help the world to calm down. We can study martial arts. In the Shaolin, there is a martial arts, but the martial art is to help people, not to add on to violence. That's why I want to say this first, because what I'm going to share to come after this is martial art, the real thing for fighting. And I don't want that to go being used to fight people. And you always have to remember, there's a karma. What you give up, you get back. Don't do it. Okay? Now, let's go to this letter from our friend from Europe. And then I'm going to explain to you what is going on. So here he said, just guys, take a snapshot. So our friend said martial arts are developed by military. General Qi Jiguang write that to train non-weapons art for soldier, for common people, is waste of time. But this can be practiced. It is useful if there remain enough time and energy from daily duty. So, this is Northern Europe language. I don't know. Okay, so you can see this is what our friend know here. And he said that this means that original martial art were weapon-based, knife, sword, and empty hands technique, footwork, fight principle or original from there, as there is no sense to develop these things separately. The concept that for today's is mostly forgotten. Today's actually vice versa weapons are often integrated in empty hand fighting platform, also put Wing Chun motto and techniques into logical environment. Well, there's a problem here. Let's look into this. Martial arts are developed by military, General Qi Jiguang, write that to train non-weapon for soldier, for common people is waste of time. But this can be practiced if it is useful, if there remain enough time and energy for daily duties. I like to tell you that General Qi Jiguang never said this. In fact, Xi Xiaodong is always also thinking this. Like General Qi Jiguang is an army, got nothing to do with martial art and so forth. So what is the truth? What is the truth? See, I never like to say in my opinion, in my interpretation. Let's see what General Qi Jiguang wrote. I wrote this book because I see out there people do not have proper translations on what General Qi Jiguang present. Even the Chinese today, they don't know. So I wrote this book. So in the West, we need to know what is the truth. Now, this is what General Qi Jiguang said. And it's translated to this. This is in this book, okay? He said that unarmed combat art does not directly prepare for the fighting between large organized armed force. For those who are energetic, unarmed combat art is an important topic within military art which need to be studied. Unarmed combat training is not a requirement for every soldier. Armed combat training is not a requirement for every soldier. It is a selective for those who are interested. Therefore, this chapter is placed behind other chapter. This chapter is listed as the 14th chapter in this book. See, it says unarmed combat art does not directly prepare for the fighting between large organization armed force. It doesn't say. General Qi Jiguang write that to train non-weapon art for soldier, for common people, is waste of time. You look at Xi Xiaodong's presentation. He always say, "Oh, there is no unarmed combat art. Military will fight military way." They don't understand. They don't know this exactly what I said. What the General Qi Jiguang said. Further on, read this. This is the chapter 14, unarmed combat key points. This is General Qi Jiguang writing. He said, unarmed combat art did not directly support a fight between large organized armed force. However, unarmed combat art can contribute to both conditioning physical body and develop a good body handling. These are the foundations of the beginner of the military art. So you got it? Qi Jiguang said, unarmed combat art, it is not directly prepared for, like you have so many army, like hundreds of army fighting and battle, those kind of things. But unarmed combat art is contributing to condition the physical body, develop the good body handling, and it is the foundations for the beginner of the military art. So he said that, yes, you need to first develop your unarmed combat art if you want to be good in the military art or the military fighting art. It is not this. Martial arts are developed by military General Qi Jiguang, right there, to train non-weapon art. For soldier is waste of time. Now, so we settle this, okay? So here, I can sell you my books, right? Well, joking, right? Seriously, it is a big problem. That's why I wrote this book, because for past 30, 40 years, you have all sorts of translations of General Qi Jiguang's chapter, but none get it close. You cannot be an English major, or I guess so, I think so. You want to know what exactly they are talking about, okay? Over here, it says, this means that original martial arts were weapon-based, that empty hands technique, footwork, fighting principle original from there. Meaning that, okay, so our friend thinking that the original is based on knife, sword, and the empty hand up and armed combat up is based on that. Well, the first thing here is he misunderstood. I don't know where is this information from. Reading something, or even if somebody reading my book, do not pay close attention, then you don't see that. Even though I already, every section, right? I make it section by section. Section by section. But if you're not careful, then you're gonna miss. So here, this means that original martial arts were weapon-based. Sorry, that's not true. Why? So over here, he said that unarmed combat art can contribute to both conditioning physical body and developing a good body handling. These are foundations for beginner of the military art. Now, in the same book, this is section 4, section 1. He said this. Thus, from a variety of unarmed combat art, I have selected 32 types of crucial unarmed combat momentum. I have made them as a set. Every one of these 32 types of momentum could link to each other. One always transforms from one type of momentum to another type of momentum to defeat the opponent. Okay, one momentum type could endlessly transform to the other type of momentum. Okay, when the transformation of one type of momentum to the other type of momentum is unpredictable and subtle, and the opponent is unable to predict the trend of the momentum transformation, that is named as superb. So Qi Jiguang in chapter 14, he wrote clearly the essence of the unarmed combat art. And as for here, we know that you want to do weapon, you better get your unarmed combat art, your momentum handling proper. And so that it will help you to, as here say, these are the foundations of the beginner of the military art. If you don't have your body conditions and so forth, you can play other weapon, you're not going to get it proper. And here it tells you already, unarmed combat art, the bottom line is what? It's momentum play. Now, right away it tells you about the unarmed combat art. There's a common saying, this is section 5. One will not be able to respond to an unrecognized attack. Attack need to be like thunder. Thunder suddenly strike with speed that allow no time to cover one's ear. As he said, one must attack without resistance. No parry, as soon as one engaging in resisting and parrying, one will tangle with many ineffective moves. One need to have a broad combat knowledge and keep learning. And the one who can predict the momentum trend win. So the bottom line is fighting is momentum handling. And you don't want to blocking hands or parry or resisting. And you will not be able to respond to unrecognized attack. And speed is the bottom line. So this is 460 years ago on unarmed combat art. You look at today, it's still like that. But it's not like today's Wing Chun. Oh, he throw a punch, you say, I use Tanda, I use Fukda. According to Qi Jiguang, why the hell you want to do that? You just go get in without even block or parry or resist. It's momentum play. Okay. So as in the same book, this is how it play momentum. Dynamically playing the momentum game with distance, angle, and level change. So hopefully this is settled. Okay. What is the truth? We must not make assumption. Now, so weapon come on top of after your mastering of this unarmed combat art for momentum, if you want to, based on General Qi Jiguang's teaching. So here is an example, we cannot stay static in fist distance and exchange blow techniques of their 1960s Hong Kong Wing Chun, or use strong static stance to bounce people off like Tai Chi if the attacker has knife. Well, let's not even talking about knife. If you look at what I just go through on the momentum, whatever this page on static in stay static in fist distance or exchange blow technique like a fudging, bounce people off, all are violating the real combat. The real combat is momentum. One momentum transformed to another momentum. Nobody have time for those. This hand, that hand, exchange blow, bouncing people. Those are show business. Those are not real. When you read General Qi Jiguang's book. Okay. Now there's unarmed combat art. So we are not talking about knife. here. We're going to talk about knife later. We talk about unarmed combat first. With that, momentum element become extremely important as Wing Chun is a short strike and we need to promptly enter attacker close body range. Well, Wing Chun is based on Shaolin short strike. Shaolin short strike is based on General Qi Jiguang, as proven in the book Restricting Wing Chun. Now, the entire thing is momentum. Momentum. Like I shared with you guys yesterday on this thing, the drum and banner attack. He strike, you don't even block, you just go in, strike him, take him down. Now, what if something changes? Well, if if you are too late or you are late, the opponent right away crush you with his body, hand, his shoulder, then you have to respond. So from here, you want to get him down with the banner and drum, as what I shared with you guys yesterday or in the other video. But guess, I'm too late. My speed is not fast enough. It go in. Then I have to change. That's momentum play. Nobody block. And it is written here. It is in this book. So there are many things there. Okay. So Chinese Kung Fu today is violating General Qi Jiguang left and right. So as for the knife, let's talk about the knife. The knife is like this. Since ancient of time, like at General Qi Jiguang time, both parties have weapons. They fought. And when the weapon crush, it gets so close, that's where you turn into the grappling art or short strike art. Both people have weapons, okay? So when they crush, it gets so close already. There is where you get into grappling or your short strike art, activate. But if somebody have a dagger, you don't have anything, you better run away. Okay? Somebody have a knife or a dagger and you don't have anything, you better run away. Run, not fighting, run, because you are in a dangerous zone. When the weapon and the in the Qi Jiguang time and with the Japanese pirate is both parties have weapon, but you get really close already, they cannot use the weapon. So there's the using the close body art, the short strike art. Okay. If other party have weapon, you run, because you need to have a lot of training in your combat art, both armed and unarmed. And there's still a chance that you're going to get step and get cut. So it's when you don't have anything, you run. So even like these few days in Taiwan just last week, 2 policemen died, steps, and their pistol get taken away by this bad guy. Okay, so 2 policemen die because of that. So whenever people is too close, have a knife or weapon gun, run. Okay. So I tell you this real thing is even a pistol, if it is too close, you just have to be realistic. Okay. And even if you're a dagger or something, just go run. Why get into this problem? Okay. So that is the reality. Don't touch it. One story is my Kyokushin classmates, senior classmates' brother. Very good in sparring. What do you expect if you are Kyokushin, very good fighter? He get ambushed Friday night when he pumping gas, stabbed to death. So there's no Superman in this world. Okay? We must not put people in the dangerous zone. We must know the truth. Even police, and after these 2 police get stabbed to death, and the police chief said, if anything, you fire. True enough that 3 days later, after this, the police tragic, one guy get into the police station with 2 butcher knife, and the police run out of the police stations. Of course, fire in the air to ask them to stop. That guy didn't stop. He fired 13 shots on his leg, on his limbs, on whoever take this knife, butcher knife. Stay away and fire. You don't want to get close, right? There's a reality. Life is precious. And that is the reason why I show you this in the beginning. Okay? Kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Be with good people. Don't be with those keeping thinking, fighting type of people. Stay away. We are not like that. We want to live a good life. And of course, if you are in the military, like in the police, like I shared with you just now, you want to deal with the knife, you need to have the gun, and you need to keep the distance, and there's a special training. If you don't have those special training, you don't want to be there. Run, stay away from the place, okay? Don't take law in your hand. You're not trained for that, okay? Now, let's look into the short strike art here. So he said that with the momentum element become extremely important as Wing Chun is short strike, we need to promptly enter attackers' close body range. Okay, so it is not momentum element become extremely important. It is momentum element is the bottom line of fighting. As for this promptly enter attack close body range, but we cannot just shoot in if we consider that the opponent has knife on his body, or on the other hand example. Well, that's what I just said, right? In the ancient, they have weapon. And then with the weapon crash, they drop the weapon or one side or both sides, they get into grappling and short strike range. Okay, that's what it is. So we don't want to mess around with the opponent hack knife. Even the police getting too close, even they have gun, they get stabbed to death. So that's how dangerous it is. Okay, it just happened in Taiwan, I think a week ago. Check newspaper. It's a sad thing. We don't want to be there. Okay. As for the short strike, as I understand, we need to control, knock out the opponent already during shoot in, and then continue control opponent center line in force flow range, Qi Sao. That's a problem here with the Qi Sao. Qi Sao is a disaster. Okay, if you want to look at the ancient, let me share with you what happened. So in my book, Restricting Wing Chun, I show the Shaolin short strike, frontal, side, from the back, short strike fight. Like I shared the other day, yesterday, right? When you get in here, you always have your leg hand, your body hand, and your hand. You can see it clear here. Your leg hand, your body hand, and both hand. It's all right in here. Okay? Now, this is already contact. That is one thing which is before contact. That is where the plum flower footwork come in. This is before contact. This within this circle is already contact. And the plum flower footwork before contact is like this. The opponent is here. It is not straightly go in. It go an angle in for this one. And over here, if you say that, you see that this is called external leg managed method. External leg management method. This leg is going to attack him with leg before the body hand land in, crush him in. Before crushing in, the leg is going to go in, and then the body landed when the leg crushed in. That is the shoot in. From this range, say this is a close body, is the already stick at the body is the range 2. This is 1-2 range. So enter will shoot in. The leg is hammering or attacking the opponent's legs. Okay, managing is called managing here. So it's from zone 1 to 2. Okay, from zone 1 to 2. When you arrive to range 2, see, that's how it changed. You see the attack from this direction to this direction. You see, this is your leg, this is your leg, or this is your leg. The direction it changed. That is when you already at here. Okay. So you need to be proficient with how to get in from here and here. And when you get in from here, okay, let's look at this. For range 1 to 2, from this further range to this range, you need to be able to handle your momentum and your recycling momentum. As now I show it, this is all in the same book. And when you get to this range 2 already, okay, which is this range 2. You're sticking with the opponent already. There is where your multi-directional strength or force flow come in. So at this range, your momentum hit in when your body touching him. There's momentum there and the multi-direction strength. Because say if you hit him, your body slam into him, he's going to struggle and you're going to handle that force. That is the force flow. Look at those like playing jiu-jitsu in MMA, so forth. When the body slam together already, they have to struggle there. And that is where the force flow come. And of course, the momentum too. Prior to that, the momentum get in. And when it's going there, you have momentum and your force flow or multi-directional force. So there is at this range. Look at this opponent's range, leg, front leg. Look at your leg here. This is a kind of distance away. You see, this is his leg is between your leg already. And here you are on the other angle to in there. So that is how you play short strike. You're keeping changing. Once you intact that, you're keeping changing here. So it's like the BJJ in the ground. You are standing and you're keeping changing. And that is the force flow range. Body hand range is the force flow range. Okay. So yesterday I shared with everybody what's a body range, body hand play, right? It is never today's Qi Sao, you stand there like you play your hand. You do that, you violate General Qi Jiguang. General Qi Jiguang say, hey, no resist, no parry. Okay. One must attack without resisting or parrying. As soon as one engage in resisting and parrying, one will tangle with many ineffective moves. So at this, close body, this is range 2. Range 2, plum flower footwork. It constantly adjusts the angle. It constantly adjusts the angle. Attack with momentum, and you have to have that force flow to handle your opponent. That's what happened. And when you in the range 1 to range 2, prior to contact, you need your momentum and you need to be able to crush in. So that is what it is. So hopefully this is clear. Okay. So what do you think? Is this assumption correct? And how do you correct enter? Some example. What I share with you, right? Your plum flower footwork. That's how you enter. Yeah, this is one type. There are many types there in the book. And then when you landed, depend on your position, you're keeping changing. There's no end. It's continue. So this is actually, as General Qi Jiguang say here, one always transform from one type of momentum to another type of momentum to defeat the opponent. One type of momentum to the other type of momentum. And over here, because it's close, long range, you don't have that force flow, multi-direction force stuff. But short strike, once you use your body hand, the forceful have to come in. So this is not Fa Jing, those kind of stuff, like in the Tai Chi. This is not those Tai Chi Fa Jing, internal Fa Jing. If you want to accord to ancient, I really don't know what the heck people are doing today. Okay. And this is what I like to share with you. Hopefully I solve your problem for you, to tell you what's the reality. And you know, this channel is for education and culture. We can talk fighting, but as a human, we better follow this. Kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Leave those who want to fight to go fight, and leave that to the law enforcement. We common people don't want to do that. We can have educations on what is the reality of fighting, as what I just shared with you. But because we are not the law enforcement, it is not our duty to do that. We need to move away, because if we don't have the training, and that's endanger ourselves. Now, if we do something which is hurting another party, we can get sued to crazy. And what if you make a mistake? You're going to regret for the whole life. Yes, regret. I can share with you one thing what I regret today. One time when I was in university, a friend who trained Bagua. And so we get into sparring. So I found out that I can get in from the angle. So I do really fast. And guess what? That strike end up cutting through his throat. And the second day, he said, well, Hendrik, you know, I cough blood. I'm 60-something today. I always feel sad when I think about those things. Is that so important to win? Is that so important to win? That what if really, you know, the strike is too strong, and it is a permanent damage? He's a friend, right? You don't do this. Even if it's not friend, you don't do that, right? That is before I'm the student of Venerable Shenhua. After that, I don't want to touch it. Because even though I don't have much of this type of stuff, is plenty enough that I feel really bad. And one other thing too, when I was doing my brown black examination testing in Kyokushin, there's a black belt guy, black belt classmate. So again, this ego mind of mine, sparring with him, you know, Kyokushin is doing this, going in, and I found out I can get in from certain degree angle. I strike him one strike, KO him. He cannot breathe. Again, today, 60-something, those are what I do when I was 17-year-old. I feel bad. Is that necessary? Is it necessary? just because I want to win, to fulfill my this I'm a better fighter type of mentality. Okay, so those are my regrets. If I can come, go again back to future, back time, I will not do that. Okay, I lose, I lose. Fine, I lose, I lose. What is the point? So don't do something which you will regret. I know you can be fast, you know the momentum handling, you know what is the angle going in because you train with that. But what is the consequence? Is that necessary? It's not necessary. We can know the signs, the fighting, but it's not necessary to hurt anybody. If it is about need law enforcement, let the law enforcement let's follow the law and let the law enforcement to handle this. Walk away. Be kind to people. You can have advanced kung fu, but you can be kind to people. You don't take law at your hand, because when you take law at your hand, what if you are wrong? Maybe at this night you do it, but the second day you wake up, you found out that I'm wrong. And so that's why I just tell you, sparring, well, whoever get KO, there's no problem, right? On this sparring with this Bagua friend, who practice Bagua, and in my Kyokushin training. Well, I mean, if you want to spar, you want to go there, you take the consequence, right? But even still, that it is no good, because this heart is evil. When we say, well, I want to KO you, just for what? To show that I'm better than you. Don't do that. That's why after I study with Zen Patriarch Shen Hua, I just cut the entire thing down. I'm a Buddhist. I'm not even a Wing Chunist. I'm willing to tell you what it is as an education, but I do not want to tell you how to beat other people and those things. You know the situation so that you know, oh, it is a tiger. It's not a cat. Walk away. Okay? That's what I say. Only last week in Taiwan, 2 good, gentle policemen get killed by a person stabbed to death and take his gun away. How sad is that is? To the worst, all of this is in the camera of the car. The police car have the camera. How do you think the family of this police, when they watch that? Of course, those are evidence of you have a bad, evil-minded. So I'm okay to share. Whatever, all this footwork, whatever I know, I can share. But think for other people. Because other people have a life too. Not just me. I'm number one. I'm best fighter. Promoting all this fighting like, I'm the best fighter. Best fighter for what? So this is what I like to share with you, okay? What is the truth? We know from ancient what is the truth. And war is really, really cruel, cold-blooded. It is only when it is cannot avoidable people make war. And you make war for peace. Like Qi Jiguang, he make the war for what? So that the people can live peacefully. Not war just because he want to do war. The best fighter. Okay. So this is what I like to share with you. Enough whining, and I just hope that you all do good. Get to the best level, the top level of Kung Fu, but be, as the Buddha said, compassion, kind to people. Forget about this. I want to be a #1 fighter. And you train enough that when you see somebody is up for no good, or you see a tiger, you run away. You don't want to touch it because that's not your job. And it's better, that's safer when you go away. And that is the Wing Chun martial art education. You know what it is. You don't go to get into the trouble. Okay?